purposes to use philosophy and da'wah? The answer is for two main purposes. Number one, an instrumental purpose. And this instrumental purpose is to bring people to the religion of Islam. That is because it will be circular reasoning to try and prove the Quran with the Quran. So you need to have a vantage point outside of the Quran in order to prove it. Now, for example, proving God's existence or the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second thing is to deconstruct. Second purpose is to deconstruct false ideologies. Now, we don't use philosophy for the purposes of completing something which we believe is already complete, which is Islam, the Quran, the Sharia, the perfect, pure way. And we won't compromise on our principles with anyone who wants to compromise. وَدُّوا لَوْ تُدْهِنُوا فَيُدْهِنُونَ. They wish that they could compromise with you. They said to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah mentioned the Quran so that you may compromise with them. Jeez.
There's another part of this answer which he himself refuted himself, but let us go in details. Firstly, clearly from the answer of Muhammad Hijab, we can see clearly Muhammad Hijab, may Allah guide us and guide him, he's been heavily influenced, he's upon the wave Ahl Kalam, who were heavily influenced by Greek philosophy, which the Salaf want and guessed, the likes of Abu Hanifa, Shafi, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Bukhari, and other than them, Ibn Mubarak, and may Allah have mercy upon them all. So that's clearly, you can see that, and this is what Fakhruddin Razi said, and other people Al Kalam, they say we cannot use the Quran and the Sunnah to prove the Quran and the Sunnah, we have to use something outside it, otherwise it will be circular reasoning. So firstly, let's go in details. The first point, he said,
and this instrumental purpose is to bring people to the religion of Islam.
So we say to Muhammad Hijab, the answer to this statement of yours, that Allah said in the Quran, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. The meaning of the verse, say this is my path, O Muhammad, say this is my path, I call to Allah, okay, upon basira, to Allah, to Islam, okay, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the teaching of Islam, and those who follow me, and I'm not from the polytheists, glory be to Allah, I'm not from the polytheists. So when Prophet Muhammad said, when he conveyed the message that he called upon basira, that basira, Muhammad Hijab, that Prophet called with, cannot be philosophy. Why? Because you mentioned clearly, explicitly, you're going to use something outside the Quran.
So you need to have a vantage point outside of the Quran. To have a vantage point outside of the Quran in order.
He was calling to non-Muslims to Islam. Yes, he was teaching the Muslims here, of course, teaching the Muslims, but his da'wah to the non-Muslims. He came, people didn't believe in Allah. They believed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or they worship something beside him. They mushrikun, some they were dahriyun, they believe just in what they call it, nothing will destroy them except nature. There's no day of resurrection. They reject Prophet Muhammad prophethood. So Prophet Muhammad was what? Qul, always the Arab pagans will try to use something against him. Allah will reveal the revelation to respond to them. So Prophet Muhammad, so now the Muhammad Hijab, you are following Prophet Muhammad, and no way you are from Prophet, because clearly you said you're going to utilize philosophy which is outside the Quran and the Sunnah, and the Prophet Muhammad was utilizing the revelation to call to his Lord alayhi salatu wassalam. Okay, or you're gonna say I'm not following Prophet Muhammad, and that is clear. You're not following Prophet Muhammad. That is clear. It's from your statement, ilzam, no doubt about that, because you have with your own mouth said you're going to utilize something outside the Quran to call them non-Muslims, to prove his prophethood. Prophet Muhammad did not do that. He used the revelation that was revealed to him to prove his prophethood. And we'll speak about this issue in details. Second one.
That is because it will be circular reasoning to try and prove the Quran with the Quran. So you need to have a vantage point outside of the Quran in order to prove it.
Clearly Muhammad Hijab, just as his spiritual forefathers, Ahl Kalam, mixed up between two matters, two issues. And it's very important to separate them. Firstly, yes, we do agree, no doubt about that. You cannot say to people, believe Islam is the truth because Allah said Islam is the truth, full stop. That's called circular reasoning. Or you say Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet because Prophet Muhammad said is a prophet, full stop. That's called circular reasoning. Okay? However, Muhammad Hijab, may Allah guide you the truth. The Quran does not just say Quran is speech of Allah and full stop. No. Allah gives the best and the strongest and the most powerful, rational, intellectual, logical, tangible proofs. When I say logical, by the way, I'm not talking about Greek logic. If you believe the only time to use logic you have to be a philosopher, then you have this dunya, that you are mutakhabbar. Logic, there's something called logic which humans have it. Whole the whole is bigger than half. It's ma'roof. It's a logical thing. Child knows that if you give him 2 biscuits and you give the other child 1, he knows that what you did is injustice to him. He knows 2 is bigger than 1. He didn't study, it's logical to him. He didn't study Greek logic. So let's go back. Logical means a fitri, something is fitri. And the nas, daruriyat, not daruriyat. That which is not by necessity. Allah uses that to prove the Quran and the speech of Allah. To prove Allah is a true ilah, and he's a creator, and he's the one who created everything, and he deserves to be worshipped alone. To prove that the day of resurrection that will occur without any doubt. To prove the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So why Muhammad wants to go outside? Because Muhammad even he tried to hide, pretending to be defender of Islam and the Muslims, and he's a savior of the Muslim nation, and he's going to save Muslims from leaving Islam and so on. He has this inferiority complex toward the Greek philosophers or the Western philosophers and so on. And the fact that you can see how he praised them and looked up to them, and he tried to belittle the scholars of Sunnah. Okay, and may Allah guide him, may Allah protect us from that. So when you say is a circular reasoning, then because according to you circular reasoning is batil, it's false, no doubt about that. Circular is reasoning because you didn't make distinction. Alhamdulillah, we Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, by Allah's tawfiq, we made that distinction because you did not make that distinction. So when you say circular reasoning, so are you saying Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used the false premises to prove his prophethood? Because Prophet used the Quran, Allah used the Quran. So Allah used something outside the Quran. Prophet used something outside the Quran. He used the Quran, he used the revelation. So either Prophet was doing, he used the false premises, or you are corrupted with this kalam, with this evil statement, satanic statement. Make a tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from this evil statement, kufri statement. That Prophet, according to his statement, because he said it's a circular reasoning, we know Prophet Muhammad used the Quran. The proof for that clear in the verse in Surah Al-Furqan. Al-Furqan. Ibn Taymiyyah, may Allah have mercy upon him, said, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا يَأْتُونَكَ بِمَثَلٍ إِلَّا جِئْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَأَحْسَنَ تَفْسِيرًا. Surah Al-Furqan, verse number 33. طيب, he said here, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, أخبر أن الكفار لا يأتون بقياس عقلي لباطلهم إلا جاءه الله بالحق وجاءه من البيان والدليل وضرب المثل بما هو أحسن تفسيرا وكشفا وإيضاح الحق من قياسهم. الله أكبر. Allah Akbar. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this verse clearly exposed Muhammad Hijab in a way that he has to make tawbah from that evil statement. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the meaning of the verse, وَلَا يَأْتُونَكَ بِمَثَلٍ, they will not come, because why? The Arab pagans, the kuffar, from the Christians even, the Yahud, the mushrikun, they will try to encounter the argument of the Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said whatever argument, the meaning of it, intellectual, so-called intellectual argument or analogy, they will bring against you except. Listen, Muhammad Hijab. Listen, my brothers and sisters who are following this individual, may Allah guide him. Listen to this. Either you are following the book of Allah, Muhammad Hijab is not following the book of Allah, may Allah guide him in this giving da'wah. Let me be specific, in giving da'wah. Okay, he mentioned that clearly, he said he has to go outside. You know? So what Allah said, I did not say, except we tell you to go back to Greek logic and philosophy and use against them. No. إِلَّا جِئْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَأَحْسَنَ تَفْسِيرًا. Except we reveal to you the truth and the best of explanation. The logical, rational, my brothers and sisters, remember this from me, and inshallah this might be my statement until I meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The best and the greatest and the most powerful, intellectual, rational, logical, tangible proofs, proving Allah's existence, proving Allah is just to be worshipped alone, proving Yawm al-Qiyamah, proving the usul and of the deen, except is in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there is nothing outside it better than it. Remember that. That's my statement, inshallah, until I meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah save us from deviations. So Allah did not say go to philosophy. We give you, O Muhammad. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, O Muhammad Hijab, read the Quran, akhi, may Allah bless you, read. May Allah guide you to the truth, read the Quran. I'm not trying to be sarcastic here, but read the Quran, even myself, let us read the Quran. Let us stay away sometimes from the videos, and stay away from the speaker's corner, and read the Quran to know the best example, the best way to call to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in the Quran. The greatest intellectual proof is in the Quran and the Sunnah of the Nabi alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ يَهْدِي لِلَّتِي أَقْوَمِ Muhammad Hijab. And those who have been influenced by the garbage and the rubbish of Greek logic and philosophy. إن هذا القرآن يهدي للتي أقوم. This Quran guides to that which is best. Best in proving Allah's existence. Best in proving that Allah should be worshipped alone. Best in refuting the doubts of people of innovation and misguidance and of people of disbelief. However, you need to go back to the scholars of tafsir and you see deriving the ma'ani, because the Quran is eloquent. You know, one word, two words, but has a lot of meaning, a lot of ways, a lot of examples, a lot of argument that can be utilized from the Quran and the Sunnah. Barakallahu feekum. The best in ibadah, the best in sharia, the best in everything. The Quran guides us to that which is the best in this life and the hereafter.